this is a hard scene because you have two other characters you're looking at, and I think it can be kind of confusing where your eye line should be. And so can you explain to me how you're solving that issue? Because I have a specific way of doing it. I'm wondering what you do.
I think imagine in the room having them each on different sides so I can look back and forth when I'm directing certain phrases to different people.
So who am I?
Well, you're playing both, but I think when I audition, I'll plan to have, if I can, have two people in the room so I can actually
You won't
physically
have,
look.
yeah, you won't have two people, but who are you, when you're were you looking at me or were you looking at two imaginary people?
I was looking at imaginary people.
What do you think I'm going to say?
You couldn't tell.
Well, I'm saying like you're reacting to an imaginary person instead of reacting to me, playing off of me. So what you want to do is make me everybody.
Okay.
So that you have an actual person to play off of. Otherwise, you're trying to kind of like build this person to do something that you're reacting to. And then when you can just use me. So what you want to do is make me everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want you to try it again and actually use me to play off of me. Now, there's a couple of options. Now, when you're dealing with a scene like this, where it's almost like, I mean, how different Nicholas and Miles, like, yeah, they're different personalities, but if you wanted to, like what sometimes I will do is like, let's say I make you Nicholas as I'm looking at you now, and I make over here Miles. Okay. So whoever's talking to me is going to be you. So if Nicholas is talking, I'm looking at you, right? Or I'm talking to you as Nicholas. Now, once Miles talks, I'm going to change my eye line and look over here at Miles, right? And then I'm going to come back to you, and now you're Miles. So now actually Nicholas is kind of moving everything depending on who I'm talking to so that you're always going to be a live person. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So kind of take the characters off a shelf and move it onto you every time.
Absolutely. Every time. And the changing of the eye line is going to make it clear that you're talking to a different person. So when you start and you're like, what's going on? And I'm talking to you as Nicholas, 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 Nicholas. And then you say, you knew this the whole time. You're saying that to Miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you would turn over here and you say, you knew this the whole time, and then come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have become Miles and Nicholas is now over here. So everything just kind of shifted. And then if you're looking at Nicholas, you come over here to this hand and then everything moves back this way.
Okay.
It's just kind of going back and forth and back. You're going to find it's going to be way more connected for you to actually have a real person to play off of.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you usually do it just with eye line and head movement, or do you actually like shift your body to move?
Oh, you don't have to move your whole body.
Okay.
Just use your eye line.
Okay.
And sometimes some people don't even do that. They just kind of make it all one person. But
okay.
you have to use your reader. You have to. I think you were on the right track in the first half. And then when you got into the big emotional stuff, I did feel like maybe you were getting a little bit actory and not using Dean to induce your behavior. Acting should just feel like I'm responding. And look, if you don't feel it organically, you can't do it. Be careful of giving us the line the way you think it's supposed to sound. I like to think about it like when I'm in a scene, it's sort of like I'm on a certain wavelength. And I got to stay on that wavelength and not go somewhere else because I think that wavelength is the one I should be on. So I stay on that. That's what Don was talking about when he said, don't improve the moment. Do you know who Shelley Long is? You ever heard that name before?
Mm-mm.
Okay. There's a show called Cheers. It was on probably before you were born. Okay.
I've heard of Cheers.
Yeah, it's like a classic. You remind me a little bit of her. So it might be good for you to sort of see her in that show, just to kind of go, okay, this is one of my casting types.
Okay.
So, like when we think about the future and doing like a showcase, like one of the things that we focus on in this class is what is your casting? Like, what do you have an edge over other people? Like, when you walk in the room, what do people think you are? Not necessarily that you are that, but what do they think you are? And so you want to make sure that you can actually play that too. Shelley Long has a certain vibe when she walks in the room. You have a certain vibe. It's one of your castings. So, and, conversely, it doesn't matter how good of an actor you are. If you're not right for the casting, it will fail. It just doesn't work, And so knowing what you're right for is really important. And it makes you fight harder to get in the room for certain auditions and let other ones go.
I keep swinging back and forth. I mean, I felt like I tried not to be not to be funny as much.
So instead of thinking about trying to be funny, and that's a death of the scene, what is funny? What's quirky or eccentric or weird about Jonah as a person?
That he thinks he's great. He thinks he's
Okay, so that's number one. He thinks he's like an unrealized potential. Yeah.
Yeah.